Yeah, well, the original point was, I remember years ago reading Glenn Meyer's Art of Software Testing. He was talking about if you can partition your input into, it's between 1 and 100. So you test for 0, you test for 1, you test for 100, and you test for 101. And I thought to myself, that's great. If only things were that simple, if only my inputs were that obvious, but they're not.
Uh-huh.
And
Well,
so,
they're not if you approach it the way we always approach it, but if you approach it with semantic modeling, then the process of building the semantic model, the content in the semantic model requires you to understand that the business constraint is this can't be any less than 1. The business constraint is this can't be any more than 100. I mean, the example I like to use here is in mini Amazon.com order fulfillment system. Okay. Clearly, the requirement will be that orders have dates, right? And so part of the blueprint has to be the fact that, oh, there's a business called an order, and there's a business concept called the date of an order. Okay. Well, there are constraints about the date on an order because, I mean, sure, if I'm going to implement this in C++, C Sharp, Java, whatever, there is a date utility class that supports dates no earlier than 1973, no later than 2056, something like that. Okay. But if all you did was tell the developer, hey, we need to have a date on the orders, then sure, okay, public class order, private date open. Yeah. But then we get what I call the dreaded phone call, which is, your customer calling up saying your stupid system just allowed us to have a date open on an order in 1984. And you're saying, well, I don't see a problem with that. Well, let me tell you the problem with that. We weren't in business in 1984. Oh, well, you never told me that little detail, did you? Well, you never asked. Your stupid system just allowed us to have a date open on the order of 2036. Well, what's the problem with that? Because that's in the future. How can orders be opened in the future? Oh, you didn't tell me that the date opened on the order can't be any earlier than the date that we opened doors to do business and can't be any later than today. Well, because you never asked. And explicit in the semantic model, anytime you have an attribute of a class, is opening a discussion with the business saying, are there business constraints? Don't give me technology crap. Don't tell me it's an int. Don't tell me it's a float. What are the business's constraints on the date open? Oh, well, now that you mention it, it can't be any earlier than when we open doors for business. It can't be any later than today. And you're never, ever, ever going to get this kind of discussion out of a user story. As a customer, I need to be able to open orders to drop things into my cart. Yeah, fine. Okay, where was the constraint that the date open, right, which was a necessary part of the business, can't be any earlier, can't be any later then? And so the modeling language,